Elsewhere around the league, of course, a lot of news being played towards Davante Adams right now, and seeming like maybe his time in Vegas could be coming up to a close a lot sooner than later. Reporting that he's requested a trade. He spoke on the Kay Adams show the other day and maybe kind of alluded to how he's dealing with all that noise right now.
I don't really know exactly what that was about. Obviously, I got, social media is a beast, so it's a lot of people out there that saw it and, wondering what's going on and people reaching out. And yeah, I haven't spoke to him. At the end of the day, 1-7 doesn't create any of it. So people can say what they want, but I'm just chilling, trying to be the model for, not stirring the pot and just locking in and doing what I got to do.
Lisa, you like that?
You know why I'm laughing, Mike? So me and Mike just did Pushing the Pile. Go ahead, check it out on YouTube podcast. We actually had this conversation, right? And the reason why I love that quote is because Antonio Pierce was asked in a press conference, his daily press conference, about Max Crosby and Davante Adams. And he actually said Max Crosby's name, right, in regards to his injury. But then when it came to Davante Adams, he said, 1-7. So I think that was a jab at Davante Adams saying it back. Coach, my name is Davante Adams. Yeah. Speak my name. Don't say 1-7. So he's like, the thing about 1-7. So Davante threw a little dig. That's why I was laughing about that. But when you look at this, me and Mike had this conversation, and when you're Antonio Pierce and there's quote unquote, a social media post that he potentially liked saying that Davante Adams probably played his last game as a Las Vegas Raider. Again, whether it was an accident or not, that's something you just cannot do as head coach. We just talked about Doug Peterson when it comes to speaking about the players in public and them lack of them making plays. Some things are just for the locker room. If you feel that way, speak to Davante man to man, right? Don't put that out there on social media. And then also what we just talked about when he had that press conference and he named Max Crosby but didn't name Davante Adams and only called him by his number, like that can cause dissension in the locker room, especially when you're talking about somebody that has the stature of Davante Adams, who has the C on his chest, who is a captain on your team, a leader on this team. A guy that a lot of people thought you and him had a good relationship, especially when he took over as head coach last year. Like Antonio Pierce, you named him as one of the guys that is the focal point of this team. So that is an issue, and that's why them winning this past week was probably the best thing for the Raiders ever, because you worry about having some dissension in the locker room when things like that happen and potentially tearing the team apart. So again, Antonio Pierce, that's my guy, but he knows there's certain things he can say and can't do. Going even back to when he was talking about guys who are making business decisions now will make business decisions. Again, he's a guy that's never going to take anything back because that's just how he's wired. But I think he would love to have that comment back just because of all the distractions it's causing the locker room.
That's the thing. They're 2-2. This isn't the Jaguar situation. They're 2-2. So this rift, it didn't just start this past month. I think that's the biggest thing. You restarted head coach, GM here in the offseason for the Las Vegas Raiders. If you knew there was a rift between your star wide receiver, who's 31 years old, he's not in your long-term plans if you're the Raiders. If you knew this rift was there, you trade him this offseason and get all you can in return, because this was a rebuild. This was not a, we're going to win this year. This was a, let's restart this thing long-term. So to me, this is organizational failure right off the rip that you can't have. And if it's starting right now, nip it in the bud, deal him if you're the Las Vegas Raiders. You can't let this go any further.
Mike, real quick, who is a good fit for Adams?
I mean, I think the Davante Adams, Aaron Rodgers connection is obvious. The Jets are a team that are already all in themselves. They're playing for this year. They've made so many short-term moves. Why not make one more? The other one, I would say, Washington Commanders, because when you are in a position with that rookie quarterback that you know is a stud at this point, you can do what the Texans just did this offseason in getting a Stephon Diggs. You can go bring in that guy, maybe pay him a little more than you would like to, but it's because you have this window that's now open. So those two teams come to mind.
Yeah, the Commanders, without a doubt, make the most sense to me. Now, obviously, the Jets do too, but when you look at their receiving core, I wonder how Davante fits in there, because Garrett Wilson is the #1 guy. Hasn't been on the same page with Aaron Rodgers, so Davante would definitely upgrade that. He already loves Allen Lazard, so I don't think they trade him, and Mike Williams has played really well the last couple of weeks, so you just wonder how that fit would mesh with those three other receivers. But the Commanders make the most sense, right? You talked about it, Mike, the cap room they have, not only this year, going into next year, and it seems like Jaden Daniels is already ahead of schedule. So you have a rookie quarterback on a rookie deal. Why not make the trade for Davante Adams, pair him with scary Terry McLaurin? Now you have a good 1-2 punch, because the Commanders are far ahead than what a lot of people thought they would be. And they're a team that looks like right now they could push for that division in the NFC East.
There's some good cinema we will see in the coming weeks over here in the NFL to figure out what happens with the trade deadline, what happens with Doug Peterson, and of course, if you want even more football as we say goodbye with Leger Douzable and Mike Renner, you can always catch Pushing the Pile, which we have referenced several times in this segment, the podcast of Kyle and Mike that you can see Leger popping up on as well. Make sure you like, subscribe, give them a follow, watch them on all the different platforms.